I'm Robbie Cumming. That's me. And that's my camera bashing into a low bridge. I think there might have been some breakage. Still in one piece at least. And this is my narrowboat home, the Naughty Lass. For a decade, I've been exploring our rivers and canals, filming my adventures as I go.
Lovely start to the morning.
And things don't always go to plan. If it gets as bad as it did last night, the worst case scenario, I might have to turn this ship around. This time I'm tackling the Basingstoke Canal. I begin near Woodham Junction. I'll explore Woking in Surrey. After that, it's deep cut locks. I'll travel through Fleet in Hampshire before reaching my destination, the ruins of Odiham Castle. It's around 31 miles in all. There'll be plenty to see. So jump on board for my Canal Boat Diaries. I'm up a little bit earlier this morning than I normally would be because I'm about to head out onto the Basingstoke Canal, and the system there is a little bit different than I'm used to. The locks themselves, the first one, I've got to be there at 9 AM. There's a guy that I've got to meet there who's a ranger. He's going to open the lock. I have to book ahead, and there's been a lot of planning that's gone in behind this trip. I do not want to be late, so I better get cranking. This trip is likely to be a bit of a challenge for me. The Basingstoke Canal is notorious for weed getting caught on the propeller. It's quite shallow in places. They often struggle with water levels, but yeah, this is really going to test me, and although it's somewhere I'm really looking forward to exploring, there is a side of me that's thinking, can I actually make it to the end? I don't know. Right, I'm just turning off onto the Basingstoke Canal, and right as soon as I enter it, there's a massive raft of weeds. Here we go. Thankfully, that weed wasn't a worry. It's always worse in sunny, warm weather when it grows quickly. Unlike many canals, the Basingstoke doesn't have a summit reservoir to feed the locks. What water it does have mainly comes from natural springs. But it never functioned that well. And even today, boaters need to conserve as much water as possible. And that's why I need some help from the start. Right, I've just reached this first lock, and I thought I was early, 15 minutes early. Well, the ranger is even earlier. Hello, mate. Yeah, I'm Robbie, nice to meet you.
John, good to be.
Right, what do I need to know now? What's happening?
As I understand it, you've been in contact with the office, so we've checked your boat's safety, insurances, licence has been issued.
Yeah, there's been a lot of planning got involved in this. Yeah.
So what will happen is you're going to go through the locks, operate them as you normally would, at your own pace. I will stay behind, and I will then do a process what's known as caulking up.
Oh, what's that
So
then?
the canal historically has suffered from a lack of water and water shortages. So what we do is we follow the boats. Once we drain down, we then agitate the canal bed, the silt, sometimes add ash, wood chip, and we look up the leaks.
So do you get in the canal and you rake up what's
it's all
there?
done from the back.
No. Oh, right.
We use long arboricultural poles with a number of different types of attachment, and we just agitate.
Right, so stir it all up.
Stir it all up, All the
And
leaf
that-
litter, all that fine material, finds the leaks, gets drawn in and blocks them off.
Oh, well, I'm really excited to see the
And
process.
it's always a competition to see if you can beat the lock.
Is it? Right, okay.
Some of them are
Well,
really
we're
stubborn
Not
and
in a
just
rush
don't want to
today.
call up. That's how it goes.
Right, first lock of 29 on the Basingstoke Canal. And it's all new to me. Can't wait to get stuck into this. Completed in 1794, this waterway once connected the town of Basingstoke in Hampshire and the River Thames, with boats carrying cargo like timber, wheat and coal. It closed back in the 1930s and was later purchased by local councils to save it from dereliction. Right, so John's going to close those gates, but the majority I will have to do myself, and I may even have to drain them as well. Because what happens is that lock now gets emptied and John sees if there's any leakage in the gate, and if there is, he seals it up. Intriguing, never seen it before. Corking up. That first lock was pretty watertight, but it's not long until we come across another that's a very leaky lock. Right, I'm just stopping here at the top of the locks because I need to go back and check out what John's up to. He's going to have to use some sediment or wood chips or something to plug up the gap in between these locks here. The challenge for John here is that the leak is right in the middle, so he's got to try and get into the middle itself and try and move things in the way to plug it up. Leaf litter and sediment from the canal seems to be filling the gaps. However, to finish the job, John throws in some wood chip for good measure. He's managed to seal the gates. Well, there's a few little bits coming through, but that's so much better than it was. Maybe I'll try this in future on another canal. Or maybe not. Seems like a lot of hard work. It's slow going on the Basingstoke, but there's no rush. My destination today is the town of Woking. But I've been called upon to lend a helping hand. Right, I've just got a little side quest here. I need to get a football from the canal. And Mum's just asked me if I can reach it. And I said, yeah, I'll give it a go. If I can, I will. Right, we'll back out. Just got to reverse so I can drop the football off. Right, I'm just going to attempt to throw this ball back. Ready? Yay, they got it. Nice one. You're welcome. You're welcome. Right, it's my good deed done for the day. On with the journey. Right, this is it. This is Woking. So I'm going to look for a mooring now near what looks to be a cafe boat and a day trip boat, and also another strange looking type of boat, probably for getting the weed out of the canal. There's a lot of weed and branches in there, which could have caused me some problems. You've been busy. You must have been busy because I haven't had anything down my... I haven't stopped at all. It's all in there. And it's a big job keeping this canal clear. There's obviously lots going on, and I've seen a group of people who are involved with the canal. In fact, one gentleman I recognise from when I got stuck on the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal, and I think he's got quite a lot to do with this one. Ian, nice
Saw
to
you
meet
last
you.
year, stuck at Bumblehole Lock.
That's right.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
And you've brought fantastic weather.
Yes, I thought I'd just bring it for
2
you.
days.
And it seems like you guys have been busy clearing out all the weed that I was expecting.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of work today, and we're going to be out twice or 3 times a week. We tend not to do it in the summer because of bird nesting, like swans and things like that.
Yeah.
Geese. But once we're in autumn and weather like this
This is when your
we're
work
out.
really starts.
Yeah.
Right, Ian, well, I'm here in Woking. It's where you live, so I'll have to explore it.
Yeah, great, and enjoy the evening in Woking, and long may the sun shine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
Will do.
Robbie.
I'm moored up in Woking, and I was only about 5 minutes walk from the town itself. Just cross the canal, cross the road, and that's it, I'm there. And I really enjoyed, first of all, seeing the Martian sculpture. Right, this is what I came to see. This sculpture commemorates 100 years of the War of the Worlds, classic sci-fi novel by H.G. Wells. What's it doing in Woking? Well, it's because he lived here for a time and had arguably one of the most productive parts of his career, and was writing The Invisible Man and also War of the Worlds whilst he lived here. And that's why this sculpture exists right here and attracts sci-fi nerds like myself from all over the country. I've got a new chimney and I didn't have to pay a thing for it. I passed by a marina and the guy who was working there, he had this in his hands. He said, look, a customer's left that here. It's obviously not the same colour as your boat, but if you'd like it, then it's yours. Well, I think I can work with this. I was going to completely repaint it, but I'm going to leave it as it is. It's sort of like night sky blue, so I'm going to put a few stars on it and just see if that is a nice little funky design. Yeah, that'll do. Right, I'm just setting off from Woking now. Today's journey is going to take me through a set of locks called St John's locks. 5 of them together. I could do more today, but this is just the way it's done. I have to follow the lead of the ranger that I'm going to meet today. They will take me through all the locks and give me the guidance as necessary. I'm also going to meet one of my friends called Jamie, who lives in Fleet, where I'm headed. And I said to him, why don't you come down today and help me out, because it's a Sunday, and although he's got a family, he's ducking out of a kids' party to come and spend a bit of time with his mate Robbie on the boat. There he is. Not only is my friend Jamie here, but I've also got quite a number of people standing by the locks who look very handy, as they are the local rangers. Hello mate, thanks for coming out to just provide morale, I think,
Morale.
for today.
I'll try and make you smile, but it's got too silly.
Right, I think I'm actually a little bit late for this one, so we better get moving. And
so let's chat.
yeah.
More wanking.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Before I leave this lock, I've been asked to check my propeller to make sure I'm not taking any of the highly invasive waterweed with me. And if any is attached, I need to remove it before I carry on. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm trying to stop the spread of that pennywort weed, that it just takes over and suffocates the canal, doesn't let much else grow. It blocks out a lot of sunlight getting down to the bottom of the canal. And above this lock, they've done a great job in keeping it free. So I've got to do my bit, make sure there's none of it on my propeller. Thankfully, there's not much weed down there, which makes a change. But I have pulled out a zip from a pair of jeans and a teddy bear sock. Right, my weed patch is now clear of weeds, and I can continue up this flight without risk of contaminating it. I've got my friend Jamie helping me. I've got the ranger Chris. His job is basically to seal up all the gates behind me, just like yesterday. And yeah, finally can get moving. Travelling all over the country, I can go months without seeing my mates. So it's great to have an old friend here today. I've known Jamie a long time. We used to go to university together, we've lived together, and yeah, been out on a few trips on the boat together as well. Jamie, you having a nice day out? But yeah, he's always been reliable. I can always count on him every now and then to call him out to help me when he's free, because he's a family man. He's got 2 daughters and a wife, and yeah, they are fairly local, so he hasn't had to come too far. It's funny how our 2 lives have taken very different paths. You've got quite a responsible family life.
Yeah-ish.
You've got a proper job, and I'm here on the boat just bumming around the system.
I always thought, you know, you've always been a bit different, like a bit bohemian, so it's like it's only a matter of time before like your next. It's one of those things I always think, well, it's always interesting to see what Robbie does next, and it's good that we could be friends, and then I can like, although I can go and visit you on it, I can also watch from the sidelines and sort of like in my warm house.
Yeah.
With central heating. Although your new windows do look really good.
Right, that's it, last lock done. I'm going to pull in after this and say goodbye to my friend Jamie. And I'll also have to say goodbye to Chris here, the ranger, who's been sealing up the gates behind me, so it's been amazing.
But thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I've had great fun.
And I'm fairly local nowadays, so
I know.
pay me a visit.
Well, you can come round.
I could, yeah. I'd love to do
laundry?
that. Oh yeah, okay, I might take you up on that. Well, that was a big boost for me to have one of my mates join me, and yeah, I think this is probably one of the only times where I've been able to bring my boat to where my friends live. This trip is a bit different to other canals I've been on, as there are set opening times for many of the leaky locks, and I need assistance getting through them. Therefore, I'm making my way to the next flight, but it's not all plain sailing. I'm having a bit of trouble here. I can't go through these locks until tomorrow, but I think I'm going to have to moor inside one. I've never done that before, but I've got no choice. There's nowhere else to tie up. In the lead up to the lock, for a good at least half a mile, there were no mooring rings, bollards, places where I could stick a chain or anything like that. It was all just bracken and trees, and the side of the canal was just too shallow. I know I'm the first boat through tomorrow, so at least there's that. But this is one of the most interesting moorings I've ever had. Besides reversing a long way back, this is my only option. I'm going to tie up to a ladder and leave the bottom gates open so the lock level doesn't change overnight. What I'm going to do now is to lock up, check out the local area, see exactly where I am. So I've got a bit of time to kill before tomorrow's locks 9 a.m. At least I won't be late. I'm taking a short walk to Brookwood Cemetery, claiming to be the largest in the UK and once the biggest in the world. Right, this is the grave I was looking for. Belongs to 2 people that were on the Titanic and escaped in a controversial way. Got Sir Cosmo Duff Gordon and his wife, Lady Christiana Duff Gordon. The pair were among 12 people who escaped in a lifeboat which had a capacity for 40. It was claimed at the time Duff Gordon had bribed a crew member in charge of the lifeboat not to return to the wreck site. And despite being cleared of the allegation, public suspicion tainted this couple for the rest of their lives. Quite a tragic tale, but it just goes to show there's more to it. When you look at these graves, it's not just a headstone and not just a name. There's many, many stories intertwined. I'm exploring the Basingstoke Canal in Surrey, and I had a bit of difficulty finding a good mooring. So tonight I'm spending it here, in a lock. Quite surreal, mooring up in a lock. But it's quite handy here. I'm right next to the petrol station. There's a road up there. No one's bothering me. And it's a lovely sound of the water just flowing over the lock gates all night. So yeah, it's quite peaceful really. But I won't be making a habit of this. It was only possible as the lock's shut until 9 a.m. and I've been told I'm the only boater on this stretch. Right, I've made a start, just closing this lock, getting ready. But we've got the lock keeper who's turned up and a couple of people from the other day in Woking who were part of the Canal Society. They're here as well, so I've got some extra hands on the job. Brilliant. Well, the reason why I'm not feeling guilty at all for just basically sitting on my boat drinking coffee is because I had an accident recently, hit myself on the side of the boat and then went in. So for the last couple of weeks I've been slowing down and trying to recover from that. I'm happy that I won't have to do too much today if these guys are up for helping me get through all 17 locks. While I'm getting a bit of assistance, these locks would have been hard graft for those that worked this waterway. However, this canal wasn't a big money spinner, as trade was never as good as they predicted. Today, the Basingstoke is a triple SI, a site of special scientific interest, meaning it's an important place for wildlife and aquatic plants. Wow, that's the second grass snake I've seen this year. Brilliant. I don't think it was expecting a boat to come along. Chucking it down now. It's been such nice weather all day, but here it is. Oh, well, at least we won't run out of water, eh? Thankfully it was a short shower and things soon dry up. Next, the canal takes me past Army Training Centre Pirbright. Over the years, this waterway has played a part in training troops, And here there are steps into the water where soldiers once learnt to swim, complete with full combat kit. Right, this is it, last lot, and I don't think I could have made it here without the help of Jeff and Ian. If I was to do this on my own, I would have had to moor up near the lock again, halfway up. So yeah, I'm very happy that I've made it this far with a bit of help. Right, thanks gents, thanks for all your help. Absolutely brilliant, cheers. From here, I've got about 20 miles to go. I'll travel through Fleet in Hampshire before reaching my destination, the ruins of Odiham Castle. But it's not long after leaving my helpers, I get into a bit of bother. I think I can see my mooring dead ahead, but I just think if I'm left alone, this is what happens, isn't it? I get into all sorts of trouble. And right now I'm hunting my way along the Basingstoke Canal, but it's marginally quicker than switching the propeller on, because it is just getting smothered by all this weed that's in the canal. And it's also very shallow. Well, I don't know what this jetty here is all about, but I'm going to have to moor here because I can't go any further without it getting darker, and I won't be able to see what I'm doing. The danger is I was obviously slipping and falling. I don't want to do that again. Before I get going this morning, I need to detangle my prop and clear up the mess from last night. Right, I'm off. The propeller is spinning, but how far am I actually going to get today? I have no idea. Because if it gets as bad as it did last night, the worst case scenario, I might have to turn this ship around. Real danger here that I won't be able to go much further. We shall see. Listen to the engine. It's really struggling, isn't it? Already slowed down to crawling pace. I later discovered this section had sprung a leak, which has since been repaired. But the shallow depth made my journey tricky, and I was even forced to propel my boat along with my barge pole. The Basingstoke Canal is like a lot of other ones. In some parts, beautiful and such a joy to travel along, and then other parts is just a complete nightmare, especially the shallowness of this canal and the weed getting caught around the propeller. It does make it very, very difficult for a narrow boater like myself to get through. I'm on the move again, but for how long I don't know. I don't even want to say here I am on the move again, because I don't want to jinx it. This lake is known as Great Bottom Flash. Sounds like a Blackadder joke, but it is a real place, and it had a really serious use during World War II. There's quite a few boats that are just left here, and there are quite a few more apparently below the surface as well. The Flash is a hollow which was used by the canal builders along the Basingstoke's route. When war broke out, barges were strung across it to prevent Germans landing flying boats. And the remains of these barges are still here today. It's just started raining quite heavily, just right in my face. This is not pleasant. This has been one of the most challenging days I've had on my journeys so far. Here we go again. Living on my own, on my boat, travelling around the country, it's a real privilege because I know so many people would absolutely love to do this. Often I do find myself in the middle of nowhere, no other boats around, loving the peace and quiet, but at the same time, if I want to be sociable, if I want to meet people, which is exactly why I bought my boat, then it can feel incredibly lonely. It does leave me with that nagging feeling of maybe I should try something else for a bit. But I'm not sure I could give up my narrowboat or this way of life, despite all the difficulties that come with it. I've got a lot coming up. Do you know what? I'm just going to moor up before it, I think, because all of the weed hatch action and hunting along the canal, together with the rain, I'm finished. I'm going to moor up and do the lot tomorrow, I think. Right, another early morning, and I just need to make myself some breakfast before I set off. Looking at my supplies here of my homemade muesli, that needs to be topped up, so I'm going to add some more oats, some seeds, dried fruit, granola, and I usually put in some kind of naughty sugary cereal, so I've got some hoops. Alright. Right, new day, new start. Yesterday I only travelled about 2 miles and I've got a lot more ground to cover. But yeah, I'm just hoping for an easier ride today. As I move on this morning, I head under a distinctive Hopkins Bridge, as they're known. It was designed by a Captain Hopkins during the First World War and was used to carry military equipment like tanks across the canal. Just coming into Fleet. Oh, I've just seen possibly the lowest bridge that I've ever come across. If I can make it through this one, there's a mooring the other side. That's going to be tricky. Oh no. I think there might have been some breakage. Oh man. The boat is basically wedged underneath this bridge. I don't know what I'm going to do. Unless I can add some more weight to it somehow. But as it is, I'm wedged in there. The top box on my roof that I can store extra things in, it can be removed, but it usually just stays on top of my roof, and it's fairly low profile. It doesn't stick out like my chimneys would. I tried to push it through from the other side just to see if I could use the bridge, and I realised that I'd got myself more stuck than before. In fact, I couldn't even pull the boat back. I have to call my friend Jamie. He lives locally with his family, and he helped me the other day, so I'm hoping he can help me again, if only just to jump on board and give me some extra weight on the boat. He came down, jumped on the front of the boat, adding a bit more weight so we could pull the boat back. Then we took the top part of my top box off. That gave us just enough room, with Jamie on the front, to get the boat underneath the bridge, but was clearing by only millimetres. How does it look, Jamie? Alright. Okay, I like your positivity. As soon as we pull in here, I will let you get off and get back to work. Thanks for rescuing me. That was a close one. And after a fleeting visit to Fleet to stock up with supplies, I'm carrying on with my journey. Well, I won't forget that bridge in a hurry. And I won't forget the help of my friend Jamie. I owe him one. I would stay longer, but I have got more of this canal to squeeze in, so I really want to make it to the end if I can. If you're into military history, this is the canal for you, as the Basingstoke formed part of a series of defensive lines during World War II. And pillboxes like this one were built to delay an invading army. Right, I'm going to moor up here, I think, because I've covered quite a few miles today, quite a few more than I did yesterday anyway. And tomorrow I'm hopefully going to get to the end of the canal, and we're not too far at this point, so I think it's doable. Right, I'm feeling quite tired now, but I've got to make my bed. I'll change my sheets as well, because these ones have been on there for about a couple of weeks. Yeah. I've also got to turn the mattress around, because I like to do that every now and then, to make sure none of it is becoming particularly damp, because that can be a real problem on boats. But yeah, can't beat nice clean sheets on your bed. Should sleep well tonight. It's a bit colder today, that's why I got my stove on, so that when I stop later on I can warm up again. And I will have to stop, because I will be reaching the end of this canal, which isn't Basingstoke despite the name. I will have to turn round before a tunnel that collapsed in the 1930s. Also, there's a castle at the end, and I can't wait to have a little look at that. Although right now I can't reach Basingstoke on my boat, it's always been the long-term aim of local enthusiasts to restore the lost 5 miles. But it'll be an expensive and complex project, and it's not likely to happen anytime soon. Just been past a feed for the canal, and spoke to a few locals who have said this is the highest they've seen it in quite a while. So I think it's looking good in terms of depth. So I should be able to make it to the end without getting caught. It seems the level really does fluctuate on this canal. And when the water rises, it means I'm closer to the underside of low bridges. And I'm not getting caught out again. Right, I've just had to quickly stop before this bridge, because it is slightly too low for my chimney. which is still puffing away. So I'm going to put my gloves on and just move it out of the way for a sec. With my chimney down, I can pass under, and there's plenty of room, which is a welcome relief. There's one final lift bridge I need to tackle. And my boat is on the wrong side for me to operate the control panel. As I was approaching the bridge, this lovely lady was just on the bridge. I asked her, could you please open the bridge for me? She said, I've never opened it, I've only seen it being opened. So I said, well, today is your lucky day. And I think she's enjoying her role here. Now, at least on this side, I can moor up on the correct bit and get my key back. Thanks, Audrey. That's a brilliant job. Well done.
Thank you very much.
How was that for you? All right?
Very good. Yes, thank you. Yeah. No, brilliant. Made my day.
There we go. Right, see ya.
Yeah,
bye. Right at the end of this trip, there are the ruins of King John's Castle near Odiham. This site has been part of many historic events, from the signing of the Magna Carta to the imprisonment of a Scottish king. But back in the 1790s, the navvies paid it little respect when they dug through its outer bailey to construct this canal. Right, this barrier ahead of me marks the end of the navigation, so I can't go any further. I have to turn round and work my way back down the canal. It's been 31 miles thereabouts to get here, 29 locks. What a friendly canal. So many lovely people that I've met along the way, and my friend Jamie, definitely one of them. But it's been one of the most challenging canals that I've ever encountered, what with all the weed and the shallow depths, and also the bridges, those low ones. So now I'm going to reverse back, turn round, and get ready for my next adventure.